Alright, first we had the female Ghostbusters, where journalists and studio executives from Sony attacked people who were skeptical or critical of the movie. Then we had, and still have, the new members of Lucasfilm insulting longtime fans of the franchise for injecting nonsensical gender politics. Now, we have journalists who don't play games in the first place coming in and insulting us about our criticisms of a female character in a historically accurate World War II game. And that game is Battlefield 5. And not only that, we now have the developer EA who are also insulting us for not approving of a female in the game. Because, you know, after scamming their loyal community for several years and acting all proud about it, it only makes sense for them to lecture and insult us about morals and the difference between right and wrong, doesn't it? So yeah, if you haven't heard about this already, EA have included a female character in the latest Battlefield 5, a game series whose main appeal is that players will partake in historical wars. This particular one taking place in World War II. EA, however, put a female character in the front lines of the war and the front cover of the game, and gamers are not happy with the fact that EA are botching the historically accurate nature of the game in favour of appealing to feminists and social justice warriors, much like another company out there. Now, one of the defenses EA's chief creative officer Patrick Sutherland gave for including a female character in a World War II game is because he was explaining to his 13-year-old daughter who didn't understand why the game was getting a backlash and why it was okay that she could play a female character in Fortnite but couldn't play a female character in a World War II game. He thought and then said to her, and I quote, "I'm like, okay, as a parent, how the hell am I gonna respond to this?" And I just said, you know what, you're right, this is not okay. And I, for one, for now, am not a parent, but I can tell you that in that moment, you failed your duty as a father. You don't need to give your daughter the gory and bloody details, but you should tell her the way things were back then. Fabricating history to your kids so you can brainwash them with the illogical and nonsensical views of modern society is downright disgraceful. Now, in regards to your how the hell am I going to respond to this situation, well, you could have easily said to your daughter, well, sweetie, women played a part in World War II, but they were far less in numbers and were in support roles behind the lines. They were never put on the front lines, and they certainly didn't have a prosthetic metal hand. And even if they did, actually, let's put it this way. Even if a guy had a prosthetic hand, he still wouldn't be put on the front lines either. But you just decided to give false information to your kid that falls in line with modern society's falsified and fictional version of history. In other words, you just misinformed her with some fabricated historical bullshit. The only reason Patrick Sutherland is getting all sour about this is because he can easily brainwash his own kid, but he can't brainwash us. Hence the reason he called us uneducated. Now, if a female character like this was in a game like Call of Duty, then it would be less of an issue. But taking a game that's main appeal is its historical accuracy and applying today's completely different viewpoints to a real-life war is just a complete denial of the facts, and anyone with common sense will realize that changing it is ridiculous and misguided. Video games, much like movies, are another form of escapism. We hear a lot of politics in our personal lives, and it becomes a headache after a while. So we have things to temporarily rest our brains and relieve the weight of all these gender politics, which seem to be made up as they go along. And then when we find out that there is no clever commentary, but just the same old politics that is being shoved down our throats in real life, and now being shoved down our throats when we are trying to escape from that, then that is a problem. And gamers that you would expect to understand that, such as Angry Joe, will tell you that SJW propaganda isn't present in games, but the fact is, they are. Female characters like Mary Sue here are clear indicators that they have made their way into popular movie franchises, and now they are being pushed into video games. The SJW propaganda is being injected into everything. I made a video recently proving that the CW shows are doing it now and are prioritizing their political agendas over the natural character development and storytelling. Video games is another area where they are trying to push their views, and much like another company which is run by an SJW, they insult the very fan base that made them the successful company they are today. Lucasfilm and EA are complicit in the way they mistreat their consumer base, and rightfully so, they are getting a lot of backlash. And now, I'm going to put forth an argument that no one on YouTube has put forth. If male gamers are sexist and just don't like having women characters playable in games, then why the hell do we have the third installment to Tomb Raider coming out in the same month as Battlefield 5? I mean, if men were just sexist and didn't want a female game character, then Tomb Raider would not have had 2 sequels at this point. The fact that it has gotten this much sequels and potentially more in the future is because male gamers are buying, supporting, and praising the hell out of them. And the proof is on the internet. You look up a playthrough with commentary, most of them are being played by guys. And unlike characters such as Rey from Star Wars, Lara Croft started out weak and vulnerable. She didn't just suddenly start out as a badass, she was given loads of quality development which led to her being the badass character that we know and love. And male gamers have been playing as this female character with no complaints. Yet you don't see these game journalists or SJWs acting happy about that now, do you? It's quite clear that they feel like their life has no purpose unless they have something to complain about, so they try to wiggle their way into the video games community despite the fact that they don't play video games. And dirty corporations such as EA, who decided to continuously rip us off, have now decided to cater towards the 1% rather than the gamers that have been at their sides throughout this franchise's life. They made one boneheaded miscalculation though, a historical fact that they cannot fabricate. The fact is that gamers are the ones that buy games and SJWs don't, and the proof is in the sales. It's been reported that Battlefield 5 is 85% behind Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and I can guarantee that when Shadow of the Tomb Raider comes out, it will also outsell Battlefield 5. And my final point about Tomb Raider: do you remember when these so-called sexist male gamers were downright furious when Rise of the Tomb Raider was announced to be an Xbox exclusive? They were pissed. But again, these journalists aren't going to report on it as it goes against their agenda to make all men look like sexist pigs. And I bet you that they know what our arguments are and why we are complaining about this, but they don't care. They are just looking to shit stir as this gives their lives purpose, which is unbelievably petty and sad. But it's what they do. They find a demographic, whether it be moviegoers, gamers, or anything across the spectrum, and they just go with the first negative label that comes to their minds. And this made me realize something. I was scrolling through The Guardian a few weeks ago, and according to research from the University of Alabama, it was revealed that, and I quote, terrorist attacks committed by Muslim extremists received 357% more US press coverage than those committed by non-Muslims. It's a rather crude comparison, I know, but do you see the connection? To these journalists, the majority of Muslims equals terrorists. In the same way, the majority of gamers equals sexists. And that's the label they are so aggressively trying to push on us. Moviegoers that want developed female characters, you're also sexist, and we get so much articles that spread and instigate hate towards us. And funnily enough, these journalists that accuse us of being sexist are ironically ignoring the actual women out there who are also criticizing the misuse and mishandling of female characters, whether it be in movies or video games. But these corporations and journalists who are pushing for women to be represented and heard are completely ignoring the women who are trying to be represented and heard. So when you get down to it, who are the real misogynists here? The ones that don't want females shoved in carelessly, or the ones that shove them in with no care and decide to insult people for not adhering to their lazy writing? In conclusion, vote with your wallets, and if you don't want companies to misguidedly incorporate female characters like this in future video games, then do not buy them. If you do, then you are just giving them more reason to do it again in the future. But, just like any business, they don't survive on politics. They survive on sales. And if you don't buy their games or watch their movies whenever they attempt stuff like this, then the next time they make a game or movie, they will immediately remove any half-assed attempts at incorporating gender politics, as it will affect the bottom line and they will be putting their finances at stake. I hope you enjoyed this video and the points I made. Comment below with your thoughts on this whole situation, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and click that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with my future videos. Also, I do have a Patreon page and any donations will be greatly appreciated as it will bring me closer to achieving my goal and doing this full time. That means more versus videos and more videos covering topics like this. Thanks very much as always for watching guys, and I will catch all of you next time. Take care.